In 2019, my daughter Casey joined me for her first canoe trip. We spent 2 weeks in Woodland Caribou Provincial Park in northwestern Ontario, Canada, paddling the shallow, burned environs of Royd Creek. 5 years later, she forgot enough of the bad stuff from that trip to agree to another. This time, I'd be returning to a Manitoba access to WCPP out of Wallace Lake via the Wanipigow River. The last time I'd done this was 2 decades ago in 2004. We left Calgary early on June 6th and drove 1,400 kilometers through Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba to the town of Selkirk. After spending the last night and 2 weeks on a comfy bed, we were up at 04:30 to drive the final few hours up Highway 304 before arriving at the calm shores of Wallace Lake on a beautiful early summer day.
Beautiful morning.
Yeah, just go past it and then we'll put it in there.
Careful.
Oh, food barrel in the water.
In?
Okay, you can go over carefully.
Careful.
Our first day, we paddled the Wanipigow River from Wallace to Siderock Lake before tackling a series of portages into Crystal Lake. We traveled 24 kilometers with 9 portages and managed to eke out a campsite on the east end of the lake despite the fire damage all around.
And we're off. Wow. Can't believe it.
Guys, does it feel real for you?
What's that?
Does it feel real till you're on the lake?
Yeah. Is that an eagle?
Well, I just think I don't know if it's real.
We paddled across Wallace Lake before starting up the Wanipigow River towards Siderock. There is a 1.2 kilometer portage that avoids paddling the river, but with high water levels, we much prefer paddling than carrying.
So, Case, is this better than walking 1.5K?
Yes, it is indeed. Ask me again at the end just to make sure.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Hey, buddy. How are you? Just having a snooze. He's like, you're blocking my sun.
Well, it feels like we're going with the current because the wind is just
Yeah.
blowing us up this thing right now. It says Danger Rock. Okay.
Those are the kind of signs I need for all rocks.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. So that's why. Okay, careful.
Yeah.
You know what? Hang on. Stop. It's telling us to go left.
Oh.
Siderock. Okay.
Siderock Lake was unburned and a relatively smooth paddle with wind at our backs. Not the norm for this trip as things would eventually turn out. As we exited Siderock Lake back into the now much smaller Wanipigow River, we spotted our first moose of the trip. It would definitely not be our last.
Okay, let's do the shuffle. Show the folks on TV. Well, that's because you missed the entrance. You can't yell shortcut when you're halfway past it.
We can do this.
This is what happens when the navigator is off Per game. We would have been so around that corner already. There you go. We saved ourselves 8 seconds.
Water levels continue to be nice and high as we approach the first portage up the Wanipigow.
Portage is right there.
I figure you won't be able to hear me anyway.
First 97-meter portage. Easy peasy. Second portage of the trip. Casey's on the food barrel because Dad broke his back getting out of the canoe. Never mind carrying anything. Here we are. I'm just going to let you pull it through. She's a trooper. I know.
Feel the breeze.
Slowly but surely, the portages got worse as we ventured further upriver.
3 hours ago?
Where we knew how to walk on a normal trail.
I know, you have to be careful with this shit.
I know. If you start balancing.
Usually just step in the muck at this point.
The fourth portage before the first small lake. Little unnamed lake along the Wanipigow. Still blowing upstream. Oh, I'll get that.
Probably a little wet.
Oh.
Play in the water.
Oh my God. It's fun when someone else is doing it.
I know, right?
My back feels better just watching you do it.
I know.
So the portage trails up the Wanipigow are not crazy obvious everywhere. There's been blowdown, not surprising in the burn. Definitely needs some chainsaw maintenance, but we'll get through. You get to places like this and you just have no idea. You kind of have to go with your gut. And work it out. Yeah, just pull the tree over.
Although the portages were all maintained, as we entered more recent burn areas, conditions deteriorated.
I like bush, but my goodness, Wanipigow is a little unmaintained bush. Take that for what you will. It is starting to feel like another roid. Whew. This thing's a bit of a bear. We are in the park. Woodland Caribou. That was a bit of a battle getting here. But this is what a Woodland Caribou maintained trail looks like, so Yeah, I'm feeling pretty pumped now. It's good. Still on the Wanipigow. It's 300 into Crystal, hopefully. I think it probably is. A little scrambly. Nicely maintained again, Woodland Caribou. Just had a little sprinkle of rain, bugs are coming out. But still a beautiful first day. Wanipigow. Rapids out of Crystal Lake. I think there's 2 Crystal Lakes in Woodland. This is the not nice one. Officially in Woodland Caribou. Crystal Lake. Whew, 5 o'clock. Crystal Lake, baby.
She's a beauty. It might just be because I am tired. No, I don't think.
Old site. You can tell because there's ferns and moss growing in the fire ring. Lots of firewood.
This stuff is nice and soft.
Yeah, this moss is amazing. It's burnt, so it's not going to be the world's best site. But quite honestly, this looks nice and flat for a tent in here. I just got to clean up 3 or 4 trees. So, doesn't look like much now, but it will.
Ah, look at that view.
Woodland Caribou 2024. Sound of silence. That's why we come here, eh, Case?
Oh yeah.
How was the first day?
It was incredible. Hey, I got to see a moose and a turtle.
You got to see a moose, a turtle, and 4 swans?
How many ticks?
Oh God, yeah. Yep. Wood ticks are a thing here.
It was an amazing day.
4 or 5 on me and 3 on Case.
Yeah.
So, oh well. It's a bit exposed and rustic, but protected from north and west winds. It's not bad. Honestly, it's better than I expected to get.
Our second day was similar to the first, at 22.5 kilometers with 7 portages. We left our site on Crystal Lake and headed for the bypass route that avoids an 800-meter carry towards Broken Arrow. From there, we traveled through Broken Arrow Lake towards the Haggart River before finding an unmarked site for the night.
.5:42 in the morning on Crystal. Beautiful morning. We're trying the alternate navigable route from Crystal to Broken Arrow. We'll see what happens with that. Good start, not. Bit of a thrashy 80-meter portage into this little pot lake. We're trying to avoid an 800-meter portage. This is nice. Nicely floated over that rock garden, so that's a good start. On to the next little pot lake.
Although very narrow, the bypass stream was surprisingly deep and had a strong current. We continued to marvel at the clarity and depth of this beautiful little ribbon of water, even as we tested our navigation skills in its tight confines. Casey quickly learned to pull the front end of the canoe around corners while I resisted the urge to oversteer from the back. Being against a strong current didn't make things any easier.
Well, we can try.
Yeah, give her. Yeah, no problem. Not even an issue. No.
I think so.
So what do you think?
You could go out and
Yeah, like, you think go around where there's less current, like on this side? You think you can step on that bog though without sinking to your neck? Well, you gotta get out. You don't know. Oh, nice. So I'm not sure.
that might be cute.
Yeah, see, guys. It might be more worth it
Yeah?
for me just walking the main current.
Okay.
It's cheaper there. Cheaper there, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't so bad.
It took us around 1.5 hours of steady work to exit the stream and enter the unnamed lake southeast of Crystal. Assuming the 875-meter portage was in perfect conditions, the timing was likely very similar between the bypass route and the direct one, but we enjoyed the paddle and decided we'd be returning the same way, with the current.
You would have come in from the left, I think. Part of Broken Arrow.
There was a short 50-meter carry out of the unnamed lake towards Broken Arrow, where we simply carried the boat with gear in and regretted it. Despite obvious maintenance in the form of cut trees, it was still a bit manky. I made a declaration that we would treat every portage the same as far as carrying was concerned, unless we could literally see the other end from the start. I've learned over the years that the best way to promote injury in the bush is to be in a hurry. Traveling with purpose is fine, but rushing never ends well. On a canoe trip, it's especially important to settle into a routine, or gear gets left behind or lost. Just watch as we ignore the declaration I just made 5 minutes ago. One more short portage with a shallow rock garden exit got us into lovely Broken Arrow Lake. It was too early in the day to set up camp, but it was tempting to do so anyway. Broken Arrow had some spotty burn areas, but plenty of live forest and shallow sloping rocky areas that would work excellent for camping. With blue skies overhead and a stiff wind from the west blowing us towards the Haggart River, we paddled on.
Take straight and then left at some point, but we'll just, I'll check in a minute. This lake's not burned. Wow. Very nice. Yeah, we'll go around this point and then left.
Yeah.
We're almost at the campsite. Nice little pike. Oh, excellent. It even got off. Perfect. Boy, you went for this thing like a million.
There are no walleye in Broken Arrow Lake or the Haggart River, but the pike were hungry and willing to attack our spoons every time we tried catching them.
I don't want to get caught.
I know.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
Oh, there we go.
Nice, Dad. Oh my God.
Just a little guy. 150, I think, into the Haggart River system now. I think that is maintained, thankfully, because, whoa, this is gonna get pretty manky if it isn't maintained, I'll tell you. This is a steep one. Up and then down.
Wiring balance and knife safety.
First step, take off lid.
Hope that the wind doesn't pick up while you're picking open the... Woo-hoo.
Nice. That's a heavy pack, folks. Uphill both ways. Pretty nice trail though, honestly.
We quickly established our portage patterns. I carried the gear pack with my fishing rods, paddle, and duffel bag on the first carry, while Casey carried a food barrel, camera case, and paddle on hers. For the second trip, I carried a small day pack in the canoe, while Casey carried the second food barrel, the spare paddle, and her fishing rods. By carrying the same gear every time, we quickly noticed when we forgot or waylaid a bit of gear at either end of a portage.
Just navigating our way between Broken Arrow and the Haggart River. Little channels and lakes on a windy day, it's perfect.
As we rounded a small island looking for a site, I heard crashing in the bush and stopped the canoe before grabbing my camera. I was expecting a moose to pop out, but instead we were treated to a rare sighting of a woodland caribou. I felt bad that we obviously scared it off the island, and we didn't linger to get more photos or video, choosing to leave it alone after snapping a few shots while it swam behind us. In over 2 decades of traveling WCPP, this is only the second caribou I've spotted. The other was on Hatchet Lake in 2023.
Of course, when you can't find a site, the next 375 meter portage has to be boggy and just in general a little nasty, but oh well.
How happy are we?
Well, we're something.
Sounds about right.
That's how dedicated I am to my shot. I feel a tick going up my shin and I'm casually taping.
Day 3 dawned clear and cool at our camp above the Haggart River. It was a relatively short day, traveling over 3 portages and 11 kilometers through Seahorse Lake before setting up a wonderful camp at the north end of Black Otter Lake.
Nice little morning pike action. The Haggart River. A beautiful sunny morning. Hey, buddy. Nice. Woo, that's chilly. Feels good.
We continued paddling in chilly air south down a narrow channel before finding our first portage of the day, a 225-meter carry into Seahorse Lake. Just before landing the portage, we spotted our second moose of the trip, feeding in shallows along the river's edge.
Maybe sideways into that grass. Well, that's 200-meter portage out of the Haggart River, heading towards Seahorse Lake, I guess. Maybe even into Seahorse Lake. Well, thank goodness for trail clearing crews is all I gotta say, because this thing's a little messed up, but relatively easy now that it's been cleared. I can't even imagine trying to get through here without that. It's a bit of an older burn, so those are the worst because everything's starting to regrow and there's too much regrowth. So yeah, thank you to the trail crews for this one. It is an extremely pleasant morning. Seahorse Lake. Mostly fried. Still a nice day. Coming up on a 400 meter out of Seahorse. Probably can't even see it on the video, but there's a big Carroll rock. Or you'd have no idea. I'm gonna walk through that somehow. Half a click. Lovely 400 meter between Seahorse and Black Otter Lake. Yeah, very well maintained. I'll show you a bit more at the top. Oh. It's a lovely Seahorse Lake. Beast mode! Beast mode! Very similar portage ending to the other one. This one into Black Otter. Well, whichever crew cleared this 400 needs to teach the crew that did the other 400 how to clear portages. Not that that one was bad, that one was great. This one's a highway. You can not only carry a canoe on your head, you can carry 2 canoes on your head through this one. Great work. Casey is having some regrets. Case. It's about what, 15 degrees? But it's sunny. Beautiful little site on Black Otter Lake. Nice hammock spot. Great little tarp spot. Tents nicely right there. Fire pit overlooking the lake. Not much to complain about today. It's a short day, but kind of have to wait for the wind to die down a bit for Donald crossing tomorrow morning. So just a nice chill day at camp. Casey does most of the work around camp. As you can see, hard at work. Not a lot has changed in 5 years.
I'm not eating Pringles this time.
True. Nice, Case. Just a little bike. After the monster that she just lost. If you're actually going to get a picture of it.
I know, it's too fast and then you can't tell in the water.
Do you have it on camera?
I've got it on video right now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, but... Shit.
That is a monster pike. That is a tiny walleye. Compare the size. He is. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to release him.
Yeah. Like snip it, you mean?
Well, I'm going to see if I can just... That is a huge fish. See you later, buddy.
You're welcome.
Okay, apparently we just hit monster pike here. Casey, if you can pull it around for me to look at, Case. Yeah, bring it around to me. You got to reel in a little bit. Yeah, now you loosen it a little bit. Exactly. He's going to pull. Trust me on that. See what I mean? When you got a big fish, he is not letting go. He's a massive weird growth on him.
Yeah, he does. It's like cancerous.
That is a big fish, though. Good job, though, Case. See, patience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. First walleye fry of the trip. Caught just off of camp on Black Otter Lake. Yummy. Oh,
Dad.
look at the princess. The pickler. Mmm.
It smells so good. Are you gonna have some too?
Mm-hmm.
With forecast clear skies, I got up at midnight for some astrophotography. The alignment of the campsite gave me a clear shot south, enabling me to capture the Milky Way reflecting in Black Otter Lake. Just before going back to bed, I shone my headlamp into the water off camp and was surprised to see several large walleye swimming slowly along the shore, cruising for a midnight snack. They didn't seem to care about the bright light, and their huge eyes reflected back at me from below the surface like moving orbs of light.
Calm morning on Black Otter. Probably about 5:30. We're gonna paddle Donald Lake. The rising mists. Should be a nice morning.
Our fourth day was another pretty short one. We paddled from Black Otter Lake up Donald Lake before portaging into Carroll Lake and making our camp after traveling only 15 kilometers with the one portage.
What is it, Case? Day 4?
Yep, day 4.
Nice. It's a beautiful morning. Little narrow channel. What's my big theory? Must be deep or the beavers would dam it.
Yep.
Well, let's just go with that. Morning walleye on Donald. Nice size.
I spent quite a bit of time trolling the smooth waters of Donald Lake as we paddled on glass the entire length of it. Despite a lack of biting fish, these are the moments I truly live for. Cool morning air on my skin as I dip the paddle deep into cold, clear water and draw hard on the smooth, worn, hemp-oiled handle. Birds chirping on shore beside us as the black beauty carves a V-shaped ripple on the unbroken surface of the lake on either side. The loud slap of a beaver tail as we race past to the song of the paddle. The mellow plop of an early rising sunning turtle sliding off its perch on a log as two strangers power unexpectedly past. It was frankly the type of moment that I will hold on to all winter long until the next set of similar memories can take over, if I'm so lucky to experience such a thing again. In our busy, connected lives, we don't get many chances to experience such moments of absolute stillness and beauty. Alone with my daughter, with a fierce ball of fire rising slowly through mists over a quiet landscape with no other humans nearby to mess it all up. What a privilege we Canadians have to call this great country our home. We are among the luckiest people on earth and do good to meditate on that fact every once in a while. It's just too easy to focus on the negatives and forget all the miracles around us.
Nice ace.
I think he hopped from mine to yours, bro. I stole your fish.
Case,
I know.
you really shouldn't put your water in your line.
Line in the water?
Yeah.
Is it bad for it?
No.
Just scary.
You know what could happen?
What?
Your rod will get caught between the boat and it'll just snap.
Snap.
Now that rod will never snap, but
Still.
can you bring him my way?
He's got a little more fight in him left.
Oh yeah, he's probably gonna go
Ape shit.
Yep. But he's small enough. That's where I have to be careful because I got to hold on a wire leader.
Oh yeah.
And if he's big,
You could slice your fingers.
I knew there was a fish there.
Nice.
Can you pull it in? Pull it in? Yeah. That is what she said.
Wow.
400 meter between Carroll and Donald. We're walking back to Donald to get the boat. Nice falls. Want to take a look at it? Here.
After completing the portage around the rapids, we spent time fishing the bottom of the falls for walleye. They weren't exactly jumping out of the water into our boat, but as expected, we did manage to catch a few decent-sized fish out of the current seams beneath the falls.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Woo.
After a relaxing coffee on a spit of rock just off the bottom of the rapids, we continued along the Gammon River into the giant Carroll Lake.
Hard at work. Monday morning.
A short way past the exit of a second falls coming out of Donald Lake, we came on a very interesting scene along the shore. At least a dozen large turkey vultures and 2 bald eagles were feasting on a moose carcass floating in the reeds. I guess this counts as the third moose of the trip. We spent some time photographing the chaotic scene before continuing up the lake.
I think it's very big. Little bite. Okay, he swallowed it.
Measuring at 22.5 kilometers from the southeast where the Gammon flows into it to its far northern reaches where it exits toward Craven Lake, Carroll is not a body of water to take lightly in a canoe. Thankfully, there are many islands and narrows to break down inevitable choppy waters, but still, it's a huge stretch of unbroken water. We chose Site 8E as it was near the outlet of an unnamed stream we hoped to use as our access to Terry, Wanda, Dunstan, and eventually Simeon Lake, far to the north along the Bloodvein River.
Lovely campsite on Carroll Lake.
Kind of built a good little camp for expected rain and wind tomorrow, so reinforce the mid as much as possible. And there's Case reading her book. There's the hammock. It's a lovely day today, no doubt about that. Beauty of a day.
Our original plans called for us to paddle the entire 22.5 kilometers towards Craven Ford and Artery Lake today, but we were having doubts. It's easy to question our decisions months later as I sit in my home office putting together this report, but it made good sense based on weather patterns, my back issues, my lingering COVID, very tough portages from Ford to Artery Lake, and the fact that Casey was finding the trip plenty hard already. We decided to do an up and back from our current position, up the unnamed creek to Dunstan Lake before transitioning to Simeon Creek. We would paddle downstream through South Simeon and set up a camp on a large island in Simeon Lake. We still had the option of coming back down Artery, Ford, and Craven from Simeon, which we kept in our pocket as an unlikely scenario.
How's the forever mac and cheese?
Very good. Good choice.
When we first got up at 8 o'clock, we almost decided to start paddling, but a few hours later, we were very glad we didn't do that. Today, I finally felt myself settling into the wilderness.
Making lunch, chattering away again. Wow. Snug as a bug on the rug.
As forecast, Tuesday dawned with low gray clouds, strong gusts of wind, and sheets of cold rain blowing through camp. Just as I suspected, our open 4-star site quickly deteriorated into a 1-star affair as I passed time adjusting the tarp and keeping a small smoky fire alight. As a city boy, hard as that is to admit, it takes me between 4 and 6 days to adjust to the stillness and isolation on trips like this. Just being somewhere remote doesn't induce the feelings that a canoe trip with only one boat does. We had nobody else to bounce ideas off, nobody else to assist in an emergency, no backup crew, no guide, nobody but the two of us. And as much as my daughter loves it, she is not an experienced wilderness traveler. She depends 100% on me to make the big decisions. Traveling isolated areas like the eastern edge of WCPP with just your daughter is another level of alone. Day 6 was a day of real adventure. We paddled out of camp under a gray sky and proceeded up a stream that I kept calling Simeon. It's actually unnamed. We traveled 24.5 kilometers over 7 portages past Terry Lake and into the remote and mysterious Wanda Lake, where we set up camp at its north end.
Nice, tight, little exposed.
Yeah.
5:30. What is it, Tuesday? Or Wednesday? I have no idea.
I have no idea.
June 12th, I think. I'm not even entirely sure about that. Well, that's a success right there. We have no idea what day it is. We just know we're paddling somewhere.
Wednesday, June 12th was a day for the ages as far as canoe trips go. What a spectacular experience it was to paddle under clearing skies in such a beautiful and lonely landscape. There aren't that many accessible places on Earth where one can drive to the trailhead and only 6 days of self-propulsion later find oneself in a place with many more moose, bald eagles, and beavers than humans. Many more. We entered what turned out to be the mouth, not the exit, of a wide, unnamed stream and paddled against a lively current as it curved and wound its way through acres of water lilies and endless fields of swamp grasses and shrubs. It didn't take long and we spotted our 4th moose of the trip, followed very soon after by the 5th and 6th ones. A cow-calf pair calmly got out of the way as we glided past. These aren't your run-of-the-mill mangy road moose either. These are a deep brown, almost black, and as beautiful as a moose can be, with their ornery long faces, huge bloated bellies, and gangly legs that suit their preference for deep muck and swampy areas.
I'm going to try cast here for a minute for a pickler, although I don't have any going on. Yep, another one. Let's go straight down. Yeah, right beside the boat. Oh, it's right beside the boat. Look at this one.
Wowzer bugsies.
Mosquitoes are coming alive. Yes, they're
That's what I was
bad.
saying. Don't inhale deeply.
Portaging through the burn.
The forest here was so torched by wildfires that the hardest challenge of the first few carries was finding a trail in the tall grasses rather than tangled fallen trees like elsewhere in the park. There weren't many trees left here.
The 150-meter portage before, what's it called now? Terry Lake? Little manky. Crews have been through here last year, which has helped immensely. I just have to cut a pretty big tree still. Lots falling. But, it's to be expected in a pretty recent burn. Like this one. Beautiful morning. Beautiful falls.
A nice long paddle brought us to an unnamed lake where we found ourselves under a rapidly clearing sky and drifting downwind. We took off our jackets, laid back, and enjoyed a well-deserved coffee before spotting a pair of huge, majestic bull moose, our eighth and ninth sightings, swimming across the lake just in front of us. We marveled at their antlers and surprising grace as they exited the water and wound their way through burned forest on shore.
Last portage before Terry Lake. Through a, must be a little bit of an older burn. Thankfully maintained. But you gotta watch your feet in here because there's tons of these little ankle trippers. The 270 I think is marked as a 120 on the map. But it's well maintained, so we'll take it. Terry Lake. Beautiful lake. But we're having a walleye fry for lunch. And then we'll head off to Wanda. Why not? How's it look, Ace?
I found myself getting excited as we finally exited the unnamed creek into Wanda Lake. I've been dreaming about this place for many months, and now we were finally here.
Wanda Lake.
Unfortunately for us, the next few hours proved to be a little frustrating. There was supposed to be not only one, but two 4-star sites in this little gem of a lake. The first site was on an obvious unburned island, and we booked it straight over there without hesitation, only to find absolutely nothing. I got out of the boat and could find no sign of a site. Only when getting home did I realize it's hidden off in the forest somewhere. Oops. Not quite panicking yet, we set off for the next option, a reported 5-star site to the west. Once again, no go. Oh yes, there was an obvious site here, but despite a huge fire pit and tent area, the site had almost zero forest. It had been completely destroyed by fire and didn't look attractive whatsoever, especially with our experience of an open site in bad weather the day before. Crapola, what to do now? We've been paddling for over 8 hours at this point, and afternoon winds were picking up. Wanda isn't a large lake, so we did what we had to do. We paddled all the way around it looking for a decent place to set up camp. Twice. As the wind continued to pick up, we got more and more frustrated. Finally, I decided to check out one last potential site on a peninsula towards the north end of the lake, and voila! At first, it didn't look like much, but by the time we set up camp, it was a 3-star affair.
Improvised tent site at improvised campsite, Wanda Lake. Still not sure if we found the one viable site or if we're missing something, but we paddled all the way around this stupid lake looking for a site. Earn those Pringles.
After a few hours of recovery at camp, we were more than ready to fish for supper. It took almost no time at all, and we were on to the famous Wanda Lake walleye. Trolling spoons worked best as we caught fish after fish. All the frustrations at finding camp faded with each new catch, and by the time we got back to camp with a stringer full of sharp fins and protein, we were feeling pretty darn good again.
Don't get all shy now. What? Dude, so rude.
Rude.
Look at that, yeah.
Hey! That's rude. Don't get all shy now. Dude, so rude.
Nice.
Oh yeah, a little baby, but I think he might be a
No, that's a walleye. It's not a baby. It's perfect eating size. Bring him up.
I don't know if my drag is enough.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. It's a nice one too. That one hit hard too.
Yeah, it did.
Man, they're hungry. Look at that smile. Like, oh, okay.
It's a small one. They've got more fight.
Our seventh day was short on distance, but not adventure. We left Wanda Lake at 0830 and continued up a severely shrinking creek towards Dunstan Lake. After crossing Ugly Lake, we portaged 750 meters into Dunstan, where we found a great campsite for the night. It poured overnight in our little corner of the outback. Thank goodness for a good tent is all I can say. I woke several times to sheets of rain and wind hitting the single wall of the pyramid near my head. There's something vulnerable about sleeping in a paper-thin shelter on hard Canadian shield rock exposed to rain and wind.
So it's kind of funny, you can't really see the...
I'm just like, where are we supposed to go?
I think it's here, but...
I saw something over there, but
I know.
I don't think it was.
I do agree with that, too.
After some confusion with long marsh grasses, we managed to find the stream and continue against a robust current. All the rain on and before our trip was likely fortuitous considering how small this stream normally is. As the sky cleared above and the birds and bugs woke up on all sides, the stream got narrower and tighter until willows and shrubs were threatening to decapitate the paddlers trying to push their way upstream. Because I was still thinking we were in Simeon Creek, the narrowing of it caused me great concern. I thought we still had dozens of kilometers to travel to South Simeon Lake, and this was not a good portent of things to come if that was the case. Thankfully, I was wrong.
Okay. Actually, not a bad portage. Better than the creek, to be arguably. Creek's a little messed up here with growth. But, oh well. If it was easy, everyone would be here. And not everyone is here, Ace. Just you and me, Gally.
It was only later that I realized the unnamed creek actually starts in Ugly Lake and drains towards Carroll.
Last night's rain also made this, we're about as wet as if we walked up the creek. But the sun is shining and the birds are chirping. Portaging the 165 and out of Wanda towards Dunstan Lake. Pretty good shape, actually. Well, this is feeling a little roidy. Oh well, we'll work our way along it and see what happens. Little tiny feeder into Ugly Lake. Ugly Lake. Okay, now I know why it's called Ugly Lake. But at least we have a ribbon. There's Dunstan from the end of the 750 out of Ugly Lake towards Dunstan. I'll tell you, this portage would be mighty ugly if not for the crews of Woodland Caribou Trail crews. So thank you, whoever you were that cleared this one. You deserve a bonus, because this would have been a nightmare. As it is, I had to cut at least 5 freshly fallen trees out of the way, but they cut about 500. So when areas are wide open in a burn, it can be very challenging to find your way through. So definitely have to look for ribbons and follow your instincts, I guess, a little bit. Yeah, getting through here without a trail maintenance crew would be an absolute nightmare. Look at this mess. Repeat for camera.
Very, very, very nice.
Dunstan Lake campsite, unexpected, more towards the south end. Not marked on my map, I don't think, but this is the site, especially because of the burn. This is a little unburned island. It's absolutely perfect. So we're gonna set up here. Probably our first 3.5 star out of 5. Tent spot back there. That's approaching a 4, but doesn't have an overlook. Gorgeous site though. Pretty perfect, she says.
It was only around 1300 hours as we settled into our camp on Dunstan Lake. A few hours of relaxing and we were ready to try fishing. Despite cool temperatures, it didn't take long, and once again we were hammering large pike and walleye on Len Thompson spoons.
Knew there had to be one in there. That must be what, your 5th? At least?
The ones that I've gotten have been, some of them are lost. I think this is my 3rd caught.
At least.
Yeah.
Walleye aren't normally known for hammering spoons. Usually a simulated bait fish like a rapella or jigs are used to attract this species. I don't know what it is, but I've experienced this spoon effect on other walleye hotspots in WCPP over the years.
Princess? You're eating.
Yeah, I know. Trying to. I'm just gonna draw this out for a long ass time. Too bad we already had dinner because holy shit! Look at that guy go!
Probably the biggest walleye I've ever caught.
Oh my god!
That thing is massive.
Okay, wait, bring it closer. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wow, dude, look at how he's fighting. Yeah, good luck getting that one off. Oh my gosh. Holy, that thing is huge, bro.
Big walleye. On Dunstan.
Oh
Big walleye on Dunstan. That's a big one.
Son of a bitch, man. Like, that is just a fucking big
my
fish.
god. That is huge. Okay, wait.
And it is a pickler, and it is tiny. Idiot. This is what I have to put up with for days on end. Little tiny fish like that. What is that?
This is my version of what you got. This is the size I can handle.
As I sat by a small, cheerful fire watching the sunset, I meditated at where we were. 7 days from the dock at Wallace Lake, and here we were on a sliver of rock with nothing but loons and frogs for company. What a privilege to experience this with my daughter. How lucky am I? Good thoughts to fall asleep on, so that's what I did. Day 8 in the park. Today we finally made it to the waters of the Bloodvein River system. We traveled north once again, out of Dunstan Lake and finally onto the real Simeon Creek. It started pretty bony, but all's well that ends well, and after 13 kilometers and 4 portages, we were on a 4-star site on the gorgeous and remote Simeon Lake. In a common theme for the trip, we woke to cool, moody skies and slowly packed up camp. We weren't in a huge hurry again today, only traveling through a few unnamed lakes to South Simeon and Simeon Lake. By 0900 we were paddling north, hoping to paddle the waters of the Bloodvein River system for the first time today. Paddling past other potential campsites towards the north end of Dunstan Lake, we were very happy with ours. They looked exposed to the elements or completely burned out. After negotiating an interesting narrows at the northeast end of the lake, we approached a short portage in the headwaters of Simeon Creek, flowing out of Dunstan Lake.
Not a lot of room for a motorboat. Yeah, we're going with the current today. There you go. That is a blaze to the left.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how the heck we're going to get in there, but we'll find a way. That tree fell right in the way. You're going to have to slow us down a bit, Case. Nice.
Well, apparently we're at a Simeon Creek into a very low creek. So we will see what happens. Reasonably shallow, Ace. Uh-oh.
We'd had plenty of rain so far, and Simeon Creek was still not much more than a dribble running through a tight rock garden. There was some interesting maneuvering to get the loaded boat through and over the shallow headwaters, which reminded us a little of Royd Creek. I love tight, windy creeks with their more intimate setting and myriad songbirds, waterfowl, and animals that tend to prefer the shallows and easier access, but tight, windy creeks also lose their depth very quickly and just as quickly become a bit of a nightmare.
Simeon widens temporarily. Nah, it's going to be all clear sailing. Wasn't that bad?
Shut up!
Almost in South Simeon. Maybe we are ready. I'm not even sure. South Simeon.
Weight to it. Yep, it's big.
Getting it on vid?
Yep, I did. Slash am, I guess.
Yeah, it's not little. It's not
Oh my god.
Yep, this always makes me a little nervous.
Mm-hmm.
You almost always flop out at some point. More than a P, to be honest, but P implies pullover to me. Oh yeah. Stretch of Simeon Creek between South Simeon and Simeon. We've already gone over 3 or 4 beaver dams, which will have to come up, but we will ignore that for now. 150 between South Simeon into Simeon. Had to be sharp-eyed for this one. Starts in a bog. Actually, that's probably part of the 150.
Oh, probably.
A bit of bog before the portage from South Simeon to Simeon. Have to make sure you're eagle-eyed when you're paddling the creek or you'll miss it. Nice big blaze on that tree. But yeah, you have to be looking for it. Okay, boggeroonies.
Do you want to push it in a little bit?
Oh yeah. Okay, hang on. I think we want to go left.
Left?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
You can actually get in pretty soon.
Okay.
You can drop in anytime.
Simeon Lake was heaven. After days in mostly burned out landscapes, we exited the final portage onto Simeon Lake under a bright blue sky and enjoyed a delightful paddle north to campsite 4N. I must admit to feeling pretty pumped that we made it this far north. Remember, only a few hours into our trip I'd pulled my back pretty bad. Thankfully my bout of COVID was in the rear view 8 days into the trip, but it was still affecting my energy levels a bit. We discussed the idea of moving further north onto the Bloodvein River proper, but with a gloomy forecast for the next few days, we decided that we'd stay here for an extra day of relaxing and fishing the area.
Nice 3.5, 4-star site on Simeon Lake. Yeah, very nice. Probably 10 spots for 2 in a stretch. A pinch, but 1 is always better. Nice view of the lake. Not so nice view of the clouds, considering it was supposed to be clear today. But it is nice nonetheless. And a nice hammock site. Beautiful afternoon. There flees our blue sky. Only thing is lots of poop on this site. I don't know why. Tons. Could be woodland caribou, I'm just not sure.
We spent a few hours setting up camp and relaxing before heading out to catch some walleye for supper.
Oh. Nope.
It's a walleye. It's tiny,
It is tiny.
but it's a walleye.
It is walleye.
Casey size.
Baby.
That is a big fish. I know. Oh my god.
Careful.
That was big. This is the other one, but it's big.
Are you sure?
It's not a little one.
Oh my goodness. No, don't.
That is big.
It's, I don't know
Oh
how.
my god. Oh my god. Yeah, this is not going to be fun. You don't want to video too long. With my lure.
Yeah.
Later, bud.
Goodbye, lucky lure and fish. Wild.
I've had to do that with.
Yep.
That's a good trip. Well, after my monster, Casey has a pretty big one on, I'm thinking. Yeah, just be patient, and if he pulls it out, just let him pull. Because when he gets close to the boat, he's gonna go. So get ready for that. Yeah, keep coaxing him. That's exactly right. It's when you get all like rammy, you bust your line, you lose him.
Do I look scared?
You do look a little nervous. He's gonna go ape, so just get ready for that. Pull him up, if you can. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, you knew he was gonna do that. Have we seen him yet? Another fish pulling the boat around. Holy cow. Yep. Don't freak out, but that's a big fish too.
Okay.
You want to be able to haul him in, but when he goes ape, you want the drag to. And we go around and around with Casey's fish. Apparently the fish like that bay because there's so many walleye. He's probably got one more in him, I'm thinking, or two. Magical woodland caribou evening on Simeon Lake. Hammering huge pike, copious amounts of walleye, and look at this. You travel a long ways through hard terrain to get to a place like this. And nights like tonight make it all worth it. Right, Ace? Better not be 1 foot long.
That'd be really embarrassing for you. Nope, not 1 foot.
1 foot long.
Woo! Don't lose another lure, bro.
No, I'm not losing this.
Nah. This one looks like mine was.
No. He's not little.
He's also not fighting.
Just a little, not much. That's right. Put the lure. Do it. That's how you bust your rod.
Yep.
It's a very bad idea.
Yep. Fuck.
Shit, these fish have energy, dude.
Honestly, if I had to put a number on the evening of June 14th, 2024, it would be a top 3 experience on a canoe trip over my life so far. Unbelievable and unbeatable. I will never forget it. As another beautiful evening settled over the wilderness around our little camp, it was hard to feel any regrets whatsoever about downsizing our trip a little bit to enjoy the moments we'd had so far.
I don't know if you can hear it, but there are trillions of mosquitoes wanting our blood right now.
Vampires.
Windy day on Simeon. A rest day.
Rather than deal with strong winds and forecast rain, we decided to sleep in and enjoy an extra day at the northernmost point of our trip. The winds were indeed fierce all day, and it wasn't until the evening hours that we managed to sneak out for some more fantastic blood vein river fishing. Once again, we caught several huge pike and easily enough walleye for supper. I've read of several parties unable to reliably catch fish while canoeing the blood vein, and it's always surprised me. Based on my very limited experience, I can't wait to get back and fish it again.
I've never caught so many huge pike.
I know it's huge.
Did you catch it that time? That's what the big ones do, eh?
Yeah. They leap.
Hit on a shit stick.
Yeah, that's good luck again.
Yeah, these things are hard to get off, man. This thing hasn't even started. Another big fish on Simeon, I'm thinking. Let's see him, Case. Careful, he's gonna go ape. Oof. Yeah, that one has some weight to it. He's gonna go. Don't let him take too much.
What do I do?
Yep, put your rod to a 90 degree and pull him in, yeah. Yeah, that was perfect though, but don't let him take too much, you'll run out of line. I just caught a massive pike and I think Casey just got another one. Yeah, there's nothing, maybe click it one tighter. Did you click it? Yeah. After a day of wind on Simeon, it calmed down. Another beautiful evening. Casey caught a monster, but nobody saw it, so we're not sure. Seemed pretty big, but you never know. She has a way of making every fish seem huge. No, this one was big.
I think it was big.
Oh yeah, biggest of the trip.
Probably.
We turned in early as wind and rain hammered our little corner of the world yet again. On day 10, we returned from Simeon Lake through South Simeon and very strong headwinds down Dunstan Lake. After 20 kilometers of travel with 6 portages, we set up camp back on a familiar site on Wanda Lake.
5:20 in the morning. Happy birthday, hun.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Love you. Hopefully you got my message at 4 o'clock. It's a gray, rainy, little bit thundery morning. And we're gonna go do battle with the creek. We're happy now. Creek, wind, rain, should be a gooder. We'll see. Trying to get to Dunstan today. Over and out. First portage done.
Go team.
Go team. Simeon Creek. After a very heavy downpour on the portage into South Simeon. And now we're paddling South Simeon. Thankfully that stopped. In the sucker bit between Simeon Creek to Dunstan and South Simeon. But we're dressed for it.
Yes.
Head to toe. Toe to head, I guess. Yeah. So, could be worse, could be worse. The rocky section. Simeon Creek. Is he having fun in the in the reeds? Yay, Simeon Creek.
God. Also, mosquitoes do bite in the rain.
Of Simeon Creek as it leaves Dunstan Lake. Pretty small. And I see blue sky as we exit Simeon Creek into Dunstan.
There's some serious fucknuttery going on around here.
Good day, but a hard day so far. In the stream towards Wanda, between Wanda and Ugly, which I now realize is unnamed because we are flowing the opposite way of Simeon. Not all portages are created equally. It's fine, bit of a thrash. Of course, everything's soaking wet, so it doesn't help any. Inhaling mosquitoes doesn't help any. If it was a nicer day and I was in a better mood, I'd clean this up a little bit more, but since we can get through it, I am leaving it. Just ready to start paddling on Wanda into a very strong wind, of course, to camp. Let's go. Very windy day.
By noon on Sunday, we were at a familiar campsite, 6A on Wanda Lake. Unfortunately, this site was very exposed to the intense south winds, and I thought the tent might break free of its moorings, but thankfully it was just fine. The rest of the day was spent hunkered down. It was simply too windy to venture out even a little bit to fish for walleye, so we didn't bother. Some days are like this. You take what you can get.
So many wood ticks. That's one on the tent, and there's about 5 of them crawling up various parts on the tent. I've never seen so many in my life.
Day 11 will go down as one of my favorite paddling days of all time. We left our camp on Wanda Lake and proceeded past Terry Lake, through Research Lake, and back into Carroll. We passed our camp from a week earlier before proceeding up the Haggart River. In total, we traveled over 39 kilometers and 14 portages all the way to the unmarked elevated site that we first cleared 9 days before.
Monday morning, leaving Wanda. See ya, Wanda. It's a nice sight. I'm trying to beat the winds that have been blowing for 2 days now. This is by far the calmest we've had it, other than a brief period yesterday night. No, day before night.
Okay, 3 days of it.
So, into the creeks today. Hope to hit it somewhere up the Haggart today. It's going to be a long day, but that gives us lots of time for the rest of our trip to relax and fish and do all sorts of fun stuff. Well, we haven't seen any paddlers yet on our route. How many days has it been, Case? This is day 10 or 11. So, yeah. Not a lot of folks out this way. That's for sure. And holy crap, is that cold. I think it's about 10 degrees out right now. Leaving Wanda Lake.
We weren't sure how far we'd make it today, but we both wanted to push things a bit. It's hard to explain, but we know what we're capable of, and so far, despite making good and safe choices, we had been erring on the side of caution. It was time to take advantage of a decent forecast and see what we were really made of. We awoke at 0500 and paddled under a gray sky out of Wanda. It transitioned into a gorgeous summer day with deep blue sky reflecting in the water as we paddled and portaged our way back to Carroll Lake via the unnamed creek. More than once, I was grateful for my clearing efforts on portages a few days previous while coming up the same route.
I got a wood tick crawling up my leg. Casey's chasing a duck again. She's so mean.
I know.
Mama left her babies long ago.
Oh, dear.
Did she learn? I think it's just because I'm not paddling.
No, this is not.
Just paddling the outflow to Carroll Lake. Carroll Lake, paddling for Haggart River. Guess what? We're against the wind. Shocker. Portage into Carroll Lake down the Haggart River. course, we're heading up. First portage, pretty good shape. Here's the bottom of the falls coming into Haggart River meets Carroll Lake. Nice falls. Interesting portage along the Haggart River. Kind of a scrambly portage. Got to be real careful on this. At least that tree is there. Third portage coming upstream from Carroll Lake. Pretty good, actually. A little bit tricky on the rock with the moss. Gotta watch the footing. But other than that, pretty good. Short but intense. Old school. They don't waste any spare meter. You're getting out in the current, you're putting in the current. I can't believe you found this. That's awesome. Thank you. I think all my Milky Way pictures are on there. Yeah. Nice big falls along the Haggart.
I surmised that walleye could swim up the river to the bottom of the first waterfall, the third portage, from Carroll Lake, and made sure to catch 3 of them for a later lunch before continuing upstream. The Haggart River has no more walleye past this point.
And the best part, some pickler for lunch. Whew, I think this is the last portage up the Haggart River, major one. And holy, this thing is, it's like a mountain climb with a canoe on your head. It's in great shape though. Probably the best maintained trail of the 5 or 6 along the Haggart from Carroll Lake. I mean, look at that. Beautiful. Goes way up. Kind of desperately.
I was gonna take a picture, but I can't. But it looks insane.
Does it?
Yeah.
Gotta watch this wet stuff. Yeah, it's literally scrambling with a canoe on your head. That's the right answer. Don't want to go in there. Continuing up the Haggart. That's probably the 6th portage ahead of us, Case?
Yes.
I think. So there's a few more than the map indicates. All good. Little unburned section of Haggart River. After all the falls on the upriver side. Walleye fry along the Haggart. Caught from the first big falls where I don't think walleye get above. Since I don't think you find them on the Haggart. Nice break before we head for camp. Traveled a long ways from Wanda today already. We will have a full day today.
A very full day.
Guess what Casey's doing? Eating walleye. That she cooked herself while she read her book. It's magic how that happens.
Very talented. Whew.
Another portage along the Haggart River. Hopefully last one of the day, but we'll see. This one's a little bit less maintained. Doable. Yeah, doable. Haggart River. A miracle has happened. We are with the wind. Very long day. Paddled from Wanda to our camp from night 2 on the Haggart River because we know weather's coming, so gave us the safest option for exit. And I can see the weather moving in already, so gonna eat supper and see what hits. So Case, how does 30K feel? 30 plus K. What did we say? 15 to 18 portages?
Something like that. Too many.
But it was to beat that. Doesn't look like much on film, but on the camera. But it's a weather system moving in probably for the next day anyways, so we're just gonna chill at this nice beautiful camp overlooking the Haggart River. What you doing, Ace?
Some of us are trying to smell good still.
I know I put my old shirt back on. It's gonna be bad. Keeps the bugs off. Calm, wet, humid morning. Rest day on the Haggart River. Got a fire going after a night of pouring rain.
After a night of heavy rain, as predicted, we awoke on 11 hours of sleep and spent the day reading, photographing waxwings, and hanging around camp while the weather system slowly blew itself out. We were tired after a long day and didn't mind the down day. We went fishing for a while in the afternoon before settling down in camp for another pleasant evening and early bedtime on a bed of moss in the quiet forest.
The chocolate mudslide with Oreo topping.
It's the best thing I've eaten in 12 days.
Pretty good, eh?
That was very good.
Nice.
For our penultimate day in WCPP, we reversed course from our second day, paddling and portaging 22.5 kilometers over 7 portages from our Haggart River campsite back to Crystal Lake via the Bypass Creek, this time with the current.
Beautiful morning. Wednesday morning on Haggart River. We're going to exit off the Haggart River that way towards Broken Arrow Lake and Crystal Lake. Gorgeous, gorgeous morning. Just what we needed, right, Ace?
Yes.
After a night of heavy rain again. Just leaving camp on the Haggart River, paddling out of the Haggart River system towards Broken Arrow Lake. Repeating one of the 375s out of the Haggart River system towards Broken Arrow. Little manky, not horrible. Thankfully someone's been through here with a chainsaw, and I've been through already with my saw, but I still have to cut one tree out of the way again today, which just shows even in 10 days the trail can change quite a bit. We have to watch our footing on rock today. There's another inch of rain overnight and an inch the day before. The trails are not dry. So yeah, sweating on top, can't feel my feet on the bottom. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Woo! That is cool. Over that with the canoe. It's always interesting, but it's doable, so can't waste too much energy cutting it out of the way. Got to pick and choose what hand maintenance you do. If something's possible with a canoe on your head, I usually don't maintain it if there's no risk of injury. This trail, if it doesn't get used regularly, is going to quickly deteriorate. There's a lot of blowdown waiting to happen here. That's going to suck a little bit with the canoe. I'll have to duck under that a little bit. It's just not summer vibes when it's 12 degrees. Maybe 15. No, it's not 15. Not a chance.
Like, it's been fun.
Yeah, it has.
It hasn't been overly fantastic or overly bad.
This portage is much more rock than swamp. So pay attention or you lose the trail. $150 between Haggart River and Broken Arrow, but I think it's more than 150, so I'm measuring it. Felt a lot closer to 200 or more to me. Pretty good though. No wind at all, just an easy paddle. In this little section of Broken Arrow, beautiful lake, lots of potential sites, lots of actual sites, and not all burnt. Very nice. Okay, carefully now.
You want me to pick up?
No, nope.
No more shortcuts!
They are shortcuts.
They're not.
They save so much time.
Ah!
I just picked a tick off my armpit.
Oh, did you?
Yep. Oh my God, ticks. I've had at least 2 dozen stuck to me. Oh, way more than that. 3 dozen. Casey with the world's shittiest campfire. Stupid thing. First of all, there's no flames. Second of all, the smoke just randomly goes every direction. It's ridiculous. Yeah, don't throw more in there. Trust me. You'd think we've never done this before. We're kind of losing our shit. Losing our shit on Crystal Lake.
Reading my journal that I wrote at camp at 1619 tells an honest story of the challenges of the day and the trip overall. A tough day paddling against the wind again. We're both more than a little tired of the relentless winds that have been against us for the most part since Simeon Lake. Today felt tough for some reason. I think we're both ready to go home. We're planning to exit tomorrow, assuming the wind is reasonable. So many ticks again today. I've had at least 50 attached ticks on this trip so far, with hundreds more crawling on our clothes and skin. This is also getting old. It's cold again today too, not more than 12 to 15 degrees. It's been an amazing trip, but also rougher and tougher than expected.
$5:14. Day 14. How do you feel, Case?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ready to do battle with the Wanipigow?
Yes.
With strong storms forecast for the following day, we chose to leave the park on our 14th day, exiting back down the Wanipigow River through Siderock Lake. Yet again, despite leaving super early, we bucked stiff winds across Wallace Lake to end the trip at the boat launch where we started.
Exiting Woodland Caribou. Not sure if the line is actually right here, or I think it's on the border, which we're not quite at yet, but that's the official sign. See you later, Woodland. Walking the first portage out of Crystal Lake down the Wanipigow. Fairly well maintained, actually. Very well maintained. Morning, Ace.
Morning.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Short little 50-meter portage on the Wanipigow. The ones closer to Crystal Lake are actually very well maintained because they're still in Woodland Caribou. Wanipigow almost looks like a river, which cannot be that common. Certainly making travel on it nice. Beautiful morning. Fairly recently cut portage trail, 5th one from Crystal Lake. I think this one's probably still maintained by WCPP crews, seems like it. Seems to go quite a bit further than the 100 meters on the map. I'm measuring it right now, but it is nice. I think we missed a good part of the downstream portion on the way in because we went too close to the falls on the way up. So. Get the green shit, she says. It's way worse in real life. And you can't smell on video, which is unfortunate. Because this is the shit, folks. If you don't want to battle with this, don't do the Wanipigow.
Oh wow, smell, eh?
The smell. The only thing I like is it's making me smell a little better. There we go. Little lake along the Wanipigow. We've done 6 portages. In theory, there's 3 left, so we're assuming 4. We'll see. Or 5. Okay, this is a portage best avoided. It is nasty. I don't know how I'm gonna do this with a canoe on my head. I guess I'll have to go
Do you want to walk it down?
super slow. But this is why you try to stay in the creek, because portage might seem safer, but in this case, I'm not sure it is. And we have plenty of river. Short portage towards Siderock. Out of Woodland Caribou now. This one's nice. The last one was horrible. Absolutely awful. Wanipigow River towards Siderock. Very full. I think higher than when we came in, eh, Case?
I think so.
2 weeks ago. Output from Wanipigow into Siderock. I don't see whitecap, so that's a good start. Siderock. Paddling to the Wanipigow outlet. not indicating the rocket is on, but the rocket is beside.
Yes, we learned that the hard way.
Ask us how we know. It's embarrassing. That was the old us. The inexperienced us. This is still a little confusing because it's pointing away from the danger rock, not at it. If I saw that, my first instinct would be to go left because the danger rock is on the right. Okay. Somewhat vindicated. Kind of weird. 2 weeks ago we were paddling like mad up this thing.
I know, right?
Now we've traveled all the way to the blood vein
And back again.
and back. Wonderful, but not easy. Not easy. I did catch a fish half as big as this boat though.
You caught some huge ones. Even the ones that you were saying, oh, not bad at the end. I was like, look at it.
Very wide Wanipigow between Siderock and Wallace Lake. Exiting the Wanipigow into Wallace. Nice. Wallace Lake. Ah, big surprise, we're against the wind on Wallace. Yeah, I better start paddling soon. We're out of the worst of it, but still got a ways to go. Casey is bringing us home. Wallace Lake put in. Finally out of the big waves. Of course, Wallace always seems to have waves. Beautiful day here. Good job, Ace.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie to you.
Still got me eating.
This feels really good. Just chilling here on the dock, feeling that infernal wind and going, we don't have to paddle it, they do. Yeah, they're with the wind. We're the suckers. Idiots. No, it feels really good. Literally didn't see canoeists until right now in the parking lot, and there's like 8 of them. I have to ask them where they're going later. Sweet.
And here I sit, months later, editing this trip report. Calgary is getting its first snowstorms of the winter season, and it's minus 15 degrees outside my window. I'm already planning another WCPP trip for 2025, hoping to go with Hanukkah as a celebration of our 50th birthdays. It's so strange sitting here reviewing photos, video, and journal entries months later. As usual, the rough edges of the trip have worn off, and now I feel a deep longing to go back. Despite the ticks, wind, waves, rain, and cold, the wild always calls out to me. I even did another trip in 2024 to WCPP, only 6 weeks after this one. Wouldn't you know it? The main challenge with that trip was brutally hot temperatures. At least we were with the wind for the most part. That trip did have other challenges, which I'll be documenting in a separate video. Woodland Caribou Provincial Park is a special place. Despite obvious challenges traveling through an area that has been transformed and disfigured by so much fire over the past decade, it is still a paddler's paradise. Small creeks wind their way through cozy, sheltered canyons between hard granite walls of ancient stone. Rivers gurgle and bubble their way over rocks below, culminating in violent rapids and waterfalls. Innumerable freshwater lakes stretch out endlessly in front of lone travelers bobbing in their small canoe on top of shimmering whitecaps beside glass-smooth sheltered bays. Songbirds serenade in a vast forest that clings impossibly to some of the oldest rock on the planet. Where the trees are still alive, a subtle canvas of green moss lies in deep shadow with yellow, white, pink, and red flowers adding some welcome cheer. Bald eagles and turkey vultures circle high above white gulls and terns, dive fearlessly into the shimmering waters below. Caribou, moose, wolves, and bears stride through the shadows. Only the lucky few spot them along their journeys. Beaver, otter, squirrels, and even woodchucks busy themselves preparing for a harsh winter that is always looming close ahead, no matter the time of year. Fish cruise the deeps and swirl along the shallows, searching for an easy snack, while loons, ducks, swans, and geese compete for prime real estate to raise their young on the surface. Frogs, toads, and other creatures of the swamp add their voices to the fray, drowning out the forbidding drone of billions of mosquitoes nearby. Colorful butterflies and dragonflies dip and swoop their relentless, seemingly random loops around our heads as we marvel at how lucky we are to be here. Oh yeah, I'll be back.